Hello from me, Dina Marais of dinamarais.com, Prosperous Soul Purpose Divine Diva. And thank you for watching this amazing interview. I have with me today Prosperous Soul Purpose Divine Diva, Kat Gillett, the creator of the Hero Method. And I'm so excited to hear about this because this is the 180-degree turn from marketing as we know it. So, Kat, before we get into this Hero Method, tell me, how did this become your sole purpose?
It was a process of evolution. It's a really interesting question. And it was a process of evolution where there was a time in my life when I decided, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow my passions. And I'm just going to say, yes to that and just see where that leads me. So initially, my degree was in psychology and anthropology. And then I was fascinated with history. And then I started getting really interested in the mythic motifs of the hero's journey. And so what I did was I blended my love of history with the mythic motifs of the hero's journey to create a historical fiction novel. And what I realized is what I had done is I'd taken the dry facts of history and brought them to life with these, what I now call the ancient bones of story. Meanwhile, while I was writing this book, I was paying the rent by being a copywriter. And I was a messaging strategist. I have 30 years of experience in the marketing world. So I was a messaging strategist and content strategist. And then, so having had that experience with the book, I realized maybe I could do the same thing for my clients. I could take the facts of their business and bring them to life using these ancient bones of story. And that's how the Hero Method was born. And so it's a confluence of all these fascinations of anthropology, sociology, neurology, and literary analysis. And all of those are passions of mine, and they all have come together in the Hero Method.
Oh, fascinating. That's amazing. So I can't wait. Tell us about this Hero Method. What is it? How does it work?
So the Hero Method, as you said, rightly so, it's 180 degrees away from what we think the rules of marketing are and what we think best practices is and what we see everybody else doing. And basically it's, instead of being out there shouting out how great your solution is, it's about creating authentic human-to-human connections with your audience. So let me give you an example. Imagine you're going to a party, you walk in the door and there's nobody there that you know. And so you see the snacks table, so you go over there and start loading up your plate with, veggies and hummus, whatever. And there's somebody standing there also doing the same. And she starts talking about herself and what she does and how great her kids are. And basically she's talking about herself and not at all interested in you. So what are you going to do? You're going to want to gracefully exit from that conversation as quickly as you can, right? And then you go and you meet somebody that, again, is another stranger, but their beginning part of the conversation is, hi, my name is so-and-so, what's your name? Tell me about you. Let me know about you. You're going to be more
Total different focus.
Completely different focus. And who are you going to want to spend the rest of the evening with, chatting? You start talking about shared interests and shared problems and all of that, rather than the narcissistic person who is only interested in his or herself. So the narcissism is really what our marketing is today. That's best practices, tells us we need to be shouting out what we do. We need to be talking this professional tone and all the stuff that nobody really wants to connect with. So the Hero Method is about creating, the focus is on the audience. And the focus is on creating a human-to-human connection with them about their needs. So that's the basic difference.
Yeah. So Kat, give us some real practical examples, like in the copy, from what it was, what it looks like in the old way, and what it would look like in the Hero Method.
Oh, great. Okay, yeah, I have a couple of examples here for you. So this is a doctor in Australia, and her name is Julian Tatkovich, and she's in Brisbane. And Her original website, her copy sounded like this. While pregnancy and birth are a natural process, we can experience a number of health complaints during each trimester as the baby evolves. So you get, right, you're just getting that sense. And that's not bad, but it's fairly typical. After she took my course, I have an online training course, and after she took the course, this is the copy she wrote. Imagine a calm and peaceful time of growing a baby in your womb. It is tranquil and serene. Your feeling of love is truly overwhelming. Your thoughts are positive, loving, caring, and nurturing. The wonders of growing a new being is an experience like no other. Do you see the difference?
Quite different, eh?
It's completely different, right? Again, it's that 180-degree difference. Instead of, here's, you know, basically this logical stuff, even talking about the birth process is this logical, disconnected versus
very academic-like.
Yeah, yeah. And I call that's the professional tone. And we think we're supposed to sound, for people to believe us, we think we need to speak in this professional tone. We need to sound like an expert. And this woman is an MD, you know, but she's going to attract way more clients, way more patients if she talks like a human being. And that's the fascinating thing about the Hero Method is to the degree that you do this, it has absolutely proven to double response, double revenue. Definitely there's an immediate and measurable difference in how people respond to you when you're talking in this way and to you when you write in this way.
Yeah, now I can
get the sense of how that could be, because people want to do business with people they know, like, and trust. People want to do business with people who want to connect with them in this way.
Yeah, I think the connection is so important. Otherwise, it just feels distant. I suppose it's not, not really getting me. It's like you want to. It's like talking at me instead of to me.
Exactly. That's a great way to put it. Dina. Yep, I agree.
So I believe you have an amazing success story. Well, I know you have probably a number of them, but I know that you have one or two or three that really stands out.
Yes, because it's when it's measurable, that's when you can really, that's the proof. I definitely get feedback like, I went into a sales meeting and I just felt magic because I was using the Hero Method, so that's that kind of wonderful feedback. But these are actual numbers that are really, really exciting. So many of your viewers probably are familiar with Ryan Eliason. He's a well-known founder of the Social Entrepreneur Empowerment Network. And this is what he has to say about the Hero Method, and I will quote his official testimonial. Once a year, we do a series of webinars that provide free training and enroll new clients in our paid program. Those of you viewers have probably had that experience.
Definitely, yes. Number of times.
yeah, right. So before working with Catherine, our previous largest launch had been $400,000. After working with Catherine, we sent out emails using the Hero Method messaging that offered the same webinar series with the same paid program offer as before. The results included attracting 73,000 attendees from at least 50 countries and over $700,000 in sales, nearly twice the response and revenue we'd achieved before. So in other words, it was the same offer, the same price point, the same everything. The only difference in that was the Hero Method messaging used in the emails. And for those of you who have responded to his emails in the last few years, that's the Hero Method messaging that you've been responding to.
Wow,
so that's a fun.
That sounds fun. That is fantastic.
Yeah, that's a fun one.
I'm sure everybody would love that response.
Right, of course we would. And that's that double. Just a little bit short of double, but very close to double.
It's close enough.
Another one, similar idea. There was a client that their email list was growing slowly, and that's a big goal that we all want to do, right? Is increase our mailing list. So this is what they said. It took 10 years to build a list of 45,000. Then using the Hero Method, it took 2 weeks to attract an additional 73,000. It's just like nearly unbelievable, except that here are the numbers. So that's what I say. It's been proven to double response and revenue. And it makes perfect sense, doesn't it? If we're connecting with our audience in a human way, of course they're going to want to engage with us. Yeah. Of course they're going to believe us. Of course they'll be persuaded by what we
But you
have.
know, it's also a skill that we need to learn in doing that, because I mean, we so naturally talk like, you know, from our heads instead of from our hearts, instead of from, you know, using sense language. We so easily talk in that kind of vague language. We don't really say much. We don't really drill it down and think detail enough so that we can actually describe a picture of what the person is going to, you know, what the results are going to be, isn't it?
Well, and it's also, it's about the results, but it's also about what their needs are. You know, really, what are they yearning for? I call it the ordinary world. It's also called the wounded land. So that's one of those mythic motifs I was mentioning before. And so what that is understanding what their needs are, what's broken in their world because they don't have you in it. What are they needing? What are they yearning for? And that's a connection too. In this other example, let me just give you another example of that, where the doctor, she says, she goes on after that bit that you just heard, she says, but is your pregnancy fraught with pain, discomfort, anxiety, and runaway emotions? Are you feeling exhausted and sick, wishing it was all over? Do you wonder how pregnancy could be this bad? So that's that kind
There
of
she's
tone.
connecting, because that is always the whole thing. We think it's just bliss, and for most people it's just hell.
Yes, for many
It can be hell, yes.
Right, exactly. And yet the doctors are saying, no, that's just normal. That's just pregnancy. And she's saying, no, not necessarily.
Doesn't have to be that way.
It doesn't have to be that way. And of course, she goes into that, you know, like right after that is like, here's, you know, here's how it can be for you. So
Great.
there's that, I call it a story of transformation. And so you're creating that story of transformation in your content by connecting with them where they are and showing them and giving them hope about how it can be.
Wow, fascinating. So where can people start? Do you have some tips for them, just to sort of get us a taste or going to play with this a little bit?
Yeah, so one of the things is, you know, there's phrases in marketing called B2B marketing and B2C marketing. So that's business to business or business to consumer. That's another one of these things that just reinforces that stay in your head, stay professional. So I call it H to H. It's human to human. So that's the whole key, is go human to human. And here's some tips about how to do that. So first of all, if you have your website right now, then you go to your home page and you just, because this is where visitors are first landing. And so are you welcoming your visitors based on their needs? Or are you talking about how great your solution is? So that's one of these things. Again, remember that narcissist at the party, you want to be the person who's welcoming and engaging and interested in them. So you want to be interested in them and how reassuring them. All you need to do on the home page is reassure them they're in the right place. That's really all you need to do on your.
Do you talk about you, or do you talk about we or I? Is it all do you talk about you?
Exactly. So that was you're anticipating my next tip, which is just notice how many times you say I or we or our or my, and just that's a really great way to rework the content in that way. Change it to you and your.
Okay.
And then now you're talking to them, you're not talking about yourself. You're not, and I get it, I understand it. That's how we're trained. That's how we see everybody else out there doing it, is to be talking about I and me and our and what we've got. But that's not the hero. That's one of the ways the hero method is that complete opposite. It's all about them. And then also look at the tone. Are you trying to be professional? Are you trying to be an expert instead of just being a human being who really cares about your audience's problems, and really come from your authentic place of really wanting to be of service to your audience? And that'll make it right there. That'll make a huge difference in the response people have to your website.
Okay, wonderful.
So then another tip. Sorry, go ahead.
No, please tell us the last tip.
So just another very quick tip is basically to stop selling and to start connecting. So again, it's same kind of theme, but the idea, I've got to sell. No. When you connect, the sell is just going to happen. And one of the ways to do that is, instead of looking at the sales process as a sales funnel, you look at it as honoring your audiences on a decision journey. So in my method, it's the hero is the audience on a quest to find an elixir that's going to heal their wounded land. So if you're staying with them in their journey and supporting them, then they're way more likely to connect with you just authentically and automatically rather than having to sell them.
Fantastic.
And so, in fact, I have I've written an ebook that I would be happy to share with your tribe.
Oh, great. Yes, because I was going to ask you, if there's something for them, a free gift that they can actually get more of a taste of what you do. Yes, please tell us about it.
So it's a short little book. It's 15 pages. It's very easy to read, and it takes you through what I call the decision journey, and gives you. It's got like tips you can do, and also workbook pages, and also a template where you can actually create your own. I hate to use the word strategy. That sounds so difficult and tough, but really it is basically a template of how you can connect with your audience at each stage of their journey and deepen your relationship with them from the point where you're first engaging with them, they don't even know you exist yet, all the way to after they're a customer, and how can you deepen that relationship after they're a customer. We tend to forget folks after they're customers. So there's the whole decision journey and how staying in touch with them, staying connected with them as you help them heal their wounded land. So that's
I'm definitely going to get it for myself. So Kat, what's the link? Just call out the link as well. I will post it definitely below and above the video wherever it appears, but just so that people can hear it.
I don't have that link handy right now, but we can, if you post it, we can have the link be part of the message for sure. Sure. Sorry.
Okay, well, definitely. No, it's fine. It's fine. But listen, viewers will definitely post the link for you to go and get this amazing ebook, because I think that's great. That's such a first step just to see the difference. And I think then, everybody would just want more of this. Kat, thank you so much for being here. And really, this is so inspiring. I think this is absolutely amazing stuff.
Thank you very much, Dina. I so appreciate you inviting me to join you today. I really do. It was a delight. It's always a delight talking with you.
Same to you. Okay, fine. Everybody, I'll see you next time. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.